Listen carefully. Something happened to you. Something ugly. Something that tried to break you in front of everyone. Something that was meant to humiliate you, to shame you, to make you react in a way that would destroy your testimony. But it didn't. You stayed calm when everyone expected you to explode. You stayed silent when everyone expected you to defend yourself. You stayed graceful when everyone expected you to fall apart. And now, people are watching you differently. People who used to judge you are now whispering about how you handled it. People who wanted to see you break are now secretly impressed that you didn't. People who thought they knew you are now realizing they never really knew who they were dealing with. Hear this clearly. That was not your strength. That was not your personality. That was not you being mature. That was God. That was the Holy Spirit holding your hands back when your flesh wanted to fight. That was heaven covering your mouth when your pain wanted to scream. Because God does not just call you, He trains you. He prepares you in secret, in silence, in situations so disgusting, so painful, so unfair, that only His hand could have kept you standing. God is saying, I let that happen so the world could see who I have been building in the dark. This is not just a video, this is a mirror. If you are watching this right now, it is not by accident. Somewhere inside of you, a war has been raging, a war between who you used to be and who God is turning you into. And what just happened to you? That disgusting situation? That betrayal? That humiliation? It was the final test before your elevation. Stay with me. Because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you see every painful moment of your life. You are a chosen one. And chosen ones are not tested with easy things. They are tested with the things that would destroy an ordinary person. Let's begin. There is a kind of pain that does not come from the enemy outside of you. It comes from the people closest to you. A friend who smiled in your face and spoke against you in the dark. A family member who watched you struggle and said nothing. A partner who used your kindness as a weapon against you. A co-worker who took credit for what you built in silence. That disgusting situation you just walked through, it wasn't random. It was designed, not by God to hurt you, but allowed by God to reveal something. To reveal who was really for you. To reveal what was really inside of you. To reveal the difference between the person you were before and the person you are becoming now. Listen carefully. Most people, when they are humiliated, they react, they curse, they scream, they post the truth online for revenge, they gossip back, they let bitterness control their tongue, and in that one moment of losing control, they lose everything God was preparing to give them. But you didn't do that. Something inside you rose up. Something calm. Something wise beyond your years. Something that felt bigger than you, and you handled it in a way that shocked even yourself. That was not luck. That was the anointing on your life. That was proof that you are not who you used to be. That was proof that the fire you've walked through has finally started to purify you. Hear this clearly. God allowed people to disrespect you, so He could show you who you have become. Because a person who has not been broken cannot stay calm in chaos. A person who has never suffered cannot forgive so easily. A person who has never cried alone at night cannot show grace to someone who just humiliated them in public. But you can. Because you've already died 1,000 times in private. You've already cried until there were no tears left. You've already questioned God in the dark, asking Him why you had to go through so much. And in every one of those moments, He was building something in you that the enemy could not destroy. This is divine preparation. Nobody talks about this part of the calling. Everybody wants the elevation, the blessing, the breakthrough, the testimony. But nobody wants the years of silence before it. Nobody wants the isolation. Nobody wants the misunderstanding. Nobody wants to be talked about, laughed at, excluded, forgotten. while God quietly shapes them into someone unrecognizable. But that is exactly what happened to you. While you were being ignored, God was writing your name in the book of destiny. While you were being left out of the group chat, God was preparing a table for you in front of the very people who excluded you. While you were crying alone at 2 a.m., wondering if you would ever be seen, God was watching. God was recording. God was preparing the moment where the whole world would witness how far you've come. That disgusting situation, that was the moment. That was the stage. That was the test that revealed the transformation. Listen carefully. There is a kind of loneliness that only the chosen ones understand. It's not the loneliness of having no friends. It's the loneliness of being surrounded by people and still feeling like nobody understands the weight you carry. It's the loneliness of smiling in photos while your spirit is exhausted from spiritual warfare nobody can see. If you have felt that loneliness, I need you to know something. That loneliness was never punishment. That loneliness was protection. God removed people from your life who were never meant to walk with you into your next season. He allowed friendships to fade, relationships to end, conversations to go quiet. Not because you did something wrong, but because your calling requires a level of separation that comfortable people cannot survive. Some people were assigned to your past, not your future. Hear this clearly. Betrayal is one of the most painful tools God uses to prepare His chosen ones. Because betrayal does something that blessing cannot do. It strips you. It humbles you. It forces you to find your identity in God alone instead of in people's approval. Think about it. Before your breakthrough, did someone betray you? Did someone you trusted turn their back on you at the worst possible moment? Did someone speak about you behind closed doors while smiling at you in public? That was not the end of your story. That was the middle chapter where God removes the fake so He can reveal the real. That was God clearing the room before He brings in the true purpose. Because you cannot carry the next level of your calling with the same people who only knew the old version of you. God is saying, I allowed the betrayal so I could show you who was never really with you. And here is where it gets even deeper. That disgusting situation everyone is now talking about. The one where you stayed calm, stayed graceful, stayed silent when you had every right to scream. That situation was not just a test of your character. It was a demonstration. A demonstration to the spiritual realm. A demonstration to the people watching. A demonstration to your own soul that you have finally become who God has been calling you to be. Because chosen ones are not made in comfort, they are made in fire. Every prophet in the Bible walked through humiliation before elevation. Joseph was thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused and forgotten in a prison cell, before he became the man who saved an entire nation. David was hunted by a king who was supposed to be his mentor, betrayed by people who once celebrated him, forced to hide in caves, before he became the king who defined a generation. Even in your own life, every disgusting, humiliating, painful moment has been preparing you for a level of authority you cannot yet imagine. Listen carefully. The people who hurt you did not know they were helping to fulfill your purpose. The people who betrayed you did not know they were pushing you into your calling. The people who laughed at your pain did not know that God was using their cruelty to build your character. That is why you cannot hate them. That is why you cannot curse them. That is why even now something in your spirit is telling you to release them, to forgive them, to let God handle what they did. Because vengeance was never yours to hold. Hear this clearly. God is saying, let them talk. Let them misunderstand you. Let them underestimate you. Because when I am finished with you, they will not recognize you. This is divine timing. And divine timing does not move according to your calendar. It does not move according to your impatience. It does not move according to how badly you want the pain to end. Divine timing moves according to what your soul needs to become, who your destiny requires you to be. You may have been praying for years for the same breakthrough. You may have been asking God the same question over and over. Why is it taking so long? Why do I have to keep going through this? Why does it feel like everyone else's life is moving forward while mine is standing still? But I need you to hear this. Standing still was never punishment. Standing still was preparation. While you were waiting, God was working on the parts of you that no one else could see. He was healing wounds you didn't even know were still open. He was removing bitterness from your heart before it could poison your future. He was teaching you how to forgive people who never apologized, so that when your breakthrough came, you would walk into it with a clean heart, not a bitter one. Listen carefully. You are closer than you think. That disgusting situation, that was not a setback. That was the final refining fire before your elevation. That was God saying, "One more test, and then I will open the door I have been preparing for you your entire life." Do not let the enemy convince you that your pain was wasted. Do not let bitterness steal the testimony that is about to change someone else's life. Do not let the people who hurt you take credit for what God is about to do through you. Because right now, in this very moment, something is shifting. Something is aligning. Something is being released in the spiritual realm on your behalf. The same God who kept your mouth shut when you wanted to scream is the same God who is about to open doors that no man can shut. Hold on. Just a little longer. Your breakthrough is closer than your doubt wants you to believe. This is the end of the first keynote. But we are not finished, because there is more you need to hear. There is a deeper part of this journey that most people never talk about. Stay with me. Hear this clearly. There is a moment in every chosen one's life where the silence of God feels like abandonment, where the prayers feel like they are hitting the ceiling and bouncing back, where you begin to wonder if you were ever really chosen at all, or if you just imagined it because you were desperate for meaning in your suffering. If you have felt that, you are not alone. Every person God has ever used in a powerful way has walked through that same valley of silence. It is not a sign that God has left you. It is a sign that God is doing something so deep, so intricate, so important, that it requires Him to work in a place where you cannot interfere. Because if He told you everything He was doing, you would try to control it. You would try to rush it. You would try to fix it with your own hands instead of trusting His. So He goes silent. Not because He doesn't love you, but because He loves you enough to let the process finish, even when it hurts you to wait. Listen carefully. That disgusting situation you handled with so much grace? People are impressed. But what they don't know is the years of silence that built that grace inside of you. What they don't know is the nights you spent crying out to God, asking Him to change your heart before your circumstances changed. What they don't know is that you didn't just wake up one day with that kind of strength. You earned it. In private. In pain. In silence. In faith when there was no evidence. And that is what makes you different. That is what makes you a chosen one. Now listen closely, because this next part matters more than you know. There is a spiritual battle happening around your life right now that you cannot see with your natural eyes. Every time you were about to give up, something pushed you to keep going. Every time you were about to say something you would regret, something held your tongue. Every time you were about to walk away from your purpose, something pulled you back. That was not coincidence. That was warfare. And you have been winning battles you didn't even know you were fighting. God is saying, I have been protecting you from things you never even saw coming. This is why the enemy tried so hard to provoke you in that disgusting situation. Because the enemy knows something you may not fully understand yet. He knows that if he could get you to react in anger, in bitterness, in revenge, He could delay the very blessing God was about to release over your life. He knows that your peace in the middle of chaos is a weapon against him. He knows that your silence, your grace, your composure is proof that you belong to God and that terrifies him. Hear this clearly. Every time you choose peace over revenge, you are declaring war on the enemy's plans for your life. Every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, you are shortening the distance between you and your breakthrough. Every time you choose faith over fear, you are proving to heaven that you are ready for what is coming next. This is transformation before elevation. God does not elevate people who have not been transformed. Because elevation without transformation destroys people. It's why you see people receive blessings and lose themselves in them. It's why you see people reach success and become someone unrecognizable, someone bitter, someone proud, someone who forgets where they came from. But God is not doing that with you. He is transforming you first. He is stripping away the pride, the bitterness, the need for revenge, the fear of what people think. So that when the elevation comes, you will carry it with humility, with wisdom, with grace. Listen carefully. That disgusting situation was your final exam. And you passed it. Not because you are perfect, not because it didn't hurt, not because you didn't want to react, but because something greater than your flesh took over in that moment, and it showed the world who you have truly become. People are impressed. But this is bigger than impressing people. This is about fulfilling what God placed inside of you before you were even born. Hear this clearly. You were chosen before the foundation of the world. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, God knew the exact situations you would walk through. He knew the betrayal. He knew the humiliation. He knew the loneliness. And He allowed all of it. Not to destroy you, but to develop you into someone who could carry weight that ordinary people could never handle. This is your destiny unfolding. Not despite the pain, but because of how you responded to it. Now I need you to understand something important. Just because you passed this test does not mean the road ahead will be easy. There will be more tests. There will be more disgusting situations. There will be more moments where people try to provoke you, humiliate you, push you to the edge. But now you know the truth. Now you understand that every single one of those moments is another opportunity to prove who you have become. Another chance to show the spiritual realm that you have truly changed. Another step closer to the fullness of your purpose. Listen carefully. Signs are all around you right now, even if you haven't noticed them. The numbers you keep seeing, the dreams that feel too real to ignore, the strangers who say things that feel like they were sent directly from heaven, the songs that play at the exact moment you needed to hear them, the scriptures that seem to jump off the page as if they were written specifically for your situation today. Those are not coincidences. Those are confirmations. God is speaking to you in ways you cannot ignore because He wants you to know that He sees you, He hears you, and He has not forgotten you. Hear this clearly. The breakthrough is coming, not someday, not eventually. Now, in this season. The very thing you handled with grace, the very situation that impressed the people around you, was the doorway, and you already walked through it. God is saying, "You passed the test I set before you. Now watch what I do next." This is your prophetic warning and your prophetic promise together. The warning is this: do not let pride creep in now that people are impressed. Do not let this moment make you feel like you no longer need God's guidance. Stay humble, stay prayerful, stay close to the one who carried you through the fire. And the promise is this: what is coming next in your life will make this disgusting situation look small in comparison, because God is not done with you. He is just getting started. Victory after endurance, breakthrough after pain, elevation after transformation. This is the pattern of every chosen one who has ever walked this earth, and it is the pattern unfolding in your life right now. So hold your head up. Not in pride, but in faith. Because the very people who watched you suffer are about to watch you shine. The very people who whispered about your pain are about to witness your purpose. The very people who thought you were finished are about to see you rise like never before. You are a chosen one. And this was only the beginning. If everything you just heard touched something deep inside of you, I need you to do something right now. Comment the word chosen below so that heaven and this community can witness your declaration of faith. Let it be a seed of agreement between you and God that you receive everything spoken over your life in this video. Strengthen your faith today, even in the small moments. Read the Word. Pray without needing proof. Trust God's timing, even when it feels like nothing is happening, because everything is happening where you cannot see it. And if this message reached you exactly when you needed it, subscribe, so you never miss the next word God wants to speak directly into your season. You were chosen for this moment. You survived it with grace. And now, your breakthrough begins.